I've been toying with the idea of upgrading the DAC in my desk system. My current DAC has served me well for the past 3 years, but in the fast-paced world of digital audio, 3 years can feel like an eternity. Several new models are hitting the market every month, each one with the potential of becoming the hot new DAC that enthusiasts want. So after months of casual browsing and speculation, I may have found a worthy contender. So let's check it out. Running a YouTube channel has its perks, not least of which is the regular stream of gear that arrives on my doorstep to try out. It's kind of a dream setup. It gives me the chance to live with all manner of gear for extended periods of time, and this hands-on experience is invaluable. My knowledge of hi-fi has expanded exponentially, giving me a deeper insight into how it all works together and helps me refine my personal tastes and preferences. And APOS Audio has been especially supportive because they've been sending me a regular supply of gear over the years. And back in 2021, they sent me the $650 topping D70S, which I compared to my entry-level shit Modi 3 that I owned at the time. And I was relatively inexperienced with DACs, but I could clearly hear the all-around improvement in sound quality, which led me to purchase one. The topping D70S with its dual pre-factory fire AKM DAC chips became my go-to unit for a while. And it's well built, it's loaded with input and output options, and sounds good to my ears. Oh, and it's got MQA, remember that? That was a big deal back then. Now, my desk system has been a constant work in progress, a playground for various gear combinations. The digital heart of this system is a Mac Mini running Roon, and it sends its digital streams through a Singzer SU6 DDC bridge. Over the past year, I've auditioned several DACs and streaming DACs that have outshone the D70S. The SMSL D400EX and the Orchard Audio PCAM Pi Plus stand out. And they're both equipped with the latest top-of-the-line AKM chipset. These DACs brought a beautiful balance of detail and dynamics wrapped in a relaxed analog sound. However, the PCAM Pi Plus had a few quirks and limitations connected to its Raspberry Pi platform, keeping it from contention in my system. And I was tempted by the SMSL D400EX, but at nearly $1,000, it was a few hundred above what I was willing to spend. Recently, APOS Audio sent me the topping D70 Pro OCTO, the latest iteration in their D70 lineup. Released in the fall of 2023, the D70 Pro is a sleek, compact unit that feels solid and well made. And the front features a high-resolution color screen, there's a large knob, and 3 touch-sensitive buttons. Navigating the OCTO is pretty straightforward. The top button brings up the comprehensive option menus, which is easily adjustable with the knob on the right. And among the settings that you can adjust are 9 digital filters, though I tend to leave it on the 5th NOS filter, or non-oversampling filter, because I can't discern much difference between them. The middle button quickly switches between the inputs, and the home button at the bottom lets you toggle between 3 display modes. Personally, I prefer the simple text info screen for its understated elegance, as the jittery graphic frequency display and the fake glowing orange VU meter are not to my taste. And there is, of course, the usual plastic topping remote. Around the back, the D70 Pro OCTO has a familiar array of inputs and outputs similar to the D70S, but minus the I2S connection. And that was a bit of a letdown for me, since I used the I2S to connect my D70S to the Singzer SU6. Which DAC chip does the D70 Pro OCTO use, you may ask? Well, instead of the usual AKM or ESS Sabre chips, Topping went with 8 Cirrus Logic chips, hence OCTO. Now, Cirrus Logic is a US-based fabless chip maker that's been making all sorts of computer silicon since 1981. But why 8 chips? Honestly, I have no idea. I couldn't find any specific information on the reasoning behind this decision. But I did find this tidbit. 8-core driver, powerful without explanation. Intriguing, but not exactly enlightening. Holy moly. Sorry for this interruption, but according to my YouTube stats, currently 90% of individuals who watch my videos are not subscribers. So I take from that YouTube is not showing subscribers my new episodes. So I suggest that if you enjoy my kind of content, please subscribe and enable notifications. So when I put up a new one, you'll know about it. Thanks. Topping is known for emphasizing the superb measurements of their products. And the D70 Pro OCTO is no exception. But for me, measurements only tell a very small part of the story. What matters is how it sounds in my setup. So I ran parallel digital coaxial signals from the Singzer SU6 to the OCTO and the D70S. And I quickly switched between them using a Bryson preamp. And the preamp was connected to a brand new Galleon TS-A75 solid-state amp, driving a pair of ProAc Response 2.5 loudspeakers. And as always, Roon handles the playback, with no streaming, just lossless CD files. The Topping D70 Pro OCTO is a fine DAC for $599. It's tonally balanced with plenty of refinement and resolution. Tracks by Alice in Chains, Pat Metheny, Nana Cherry, Jean-Luc Ponty, the Cowboy Junkies, Fairport Convention, and Patti Smith sounded dynamic, well-rounded, precise, and polished. The presentation is classic Topping. However, at this price point, DACs often lack the expansive soundstage and ethereal quality of higher-end R2R DACs like my reference Hollow Audio Spring 3 KTE. The OCTO, while excellent, doesn't quite reach those lofty heights. I do like to get out my 30-plus-year-old California Audiolabs Sigma Tube DAC for comparisons. It's a really interesting unit. Perhaps not the most neutral sounding DAC I've ever heard because it does inject a bit of extra energy and fun into the music. The D70 Pro OCTO, by contrast, is more even-handed and neutral. Topping's products are often described as sounding clean. And that's a fitting adjective. But clean doesn't necessarily translate to joyous, rich, or holographic. Is the Topping D70 Pro OCTO a contender to replace my 2021 D70S? In a word, no. Why? Well, not because the OCTO is a substandard DAC, but rather that I find the differences to be barely discernible in my system. Quickly switching back and forth, there is very little between them. The D70S has a slightly more forward midband presentation, while the OCTO is a smidge more laid back. That's about it. I'm a bit surprised that the old D70S holds up so well. So purchasing an OCTO would not be a significant step up that I'm seeking. And this could be a lesson for all of you enthusiasts to learn, who believe that the latest new shiny device is going to be better than what you already own. So I guess I'm still on the lookout for a sub-$700 DAC that rouses me enough to buy it. The D70 Pro OCTO is a very good DAC with plenty of features and a handsome design. And like all Topping products, it's well built, likely very reliable, and thoughtfully executed. While it may not give me goosebumps, it's a solid, safe choice with few downsides.